Good evening, YouTube. 8 o'clock. Thought I'd do an upload and was thinking about a few things about what happened in Washington, D.C. And I hope you can see through all the pandemonium. I want to use a personal example, and I won't use the name or occupation of the gentleman I'm going to use as an example. But I want you to know immediately that the Department of Homeland Security cleared this guy and let him in. There's no other way. He worked for this computer company as a contractor. Those people need to go through a Department of Homeland Security background check, and you have to clear them and let them in. Now, let me tell you about how lax those clearances are. They are so lax. I have a friend who had to go through the same background check working for the same type of company and or a contractor that supplies services for infrastructure for office space. And so he needed access to federal properties around the state. And so he had to pass the DHS background check that all federal employees supposedly have to pass. Now, this gentleman has convictions ranging from possession of methamphetamine manufacturing, and his latest one is assault, drunk driving. Okay, now some don't want to say anything bad about my friend. Uh, to me, he's a good guy and is reformed and has learned his lesson and is carrying on with life. And I might even ask him if he wants to come on and do a report, and anonymously probably as well. But we'll work that all out. But this gentleman, I looked at his background. There's no way he should have been approved. They even came back and asked him to clarify his convictions, and in fact, he did prison time on parole. Okay, not just probation, but parole. They cleared him to have unmolested access to every piece of federal property, every courthouse, every capital area, the federal building, anywhere in the state he needs to go. He can now go unescorted because they need access to places like utility closets, basement areas, etc., wherever the infrastructure of the office building might be. And of course, we can't bother our security personnel to escort these people around the property because they're there all the time. So they just bother with the Department of Homeland Security's background check. He just flashes his little badge. He walks right in. They don't look in his toolboxes. They don't look at his toolboxes when he leaves. So he could be leaving with something and go into any part of the federal building office and then walk out with anything that he wants, or walk in with it, whatever he wants. Okay, and I'm not saying that my friend would do this, but proving how lax it is to get cleared by the Department of Homeland Security. Can you imagine who works for the Department of Homeland Security? If a person like this, they let go wherever he wants to go through right through security. I imagine those who work for the daggone place that are granting access to people that have been in prison for many of years. And now this Alexis guy, he had some problems with the law and dealing with firearms. Should he have been approved or not? That's yet to be seen. He did serve in the Navy. He was discharged from the Navy. The reason's unclear. And but let me tell you, you got the federal government looking at the public when they should be looking at themselves. And every time something like this happens, whether it be Boston, Fort Hood, now we have this Washington, D.C., or the Aurora shooting, it's always the security is there to protect the government infrastructure and those affected, and the public be damned. And are punished even, like in Boston, where their homes were raided, and it took some guy having a cigarette to find the guy in the back of the boat, and they have some proved their guilt. To this day, I'm not convinced. And now you're dealing with another spin by the media who want you to believe it's all your fault, America, citizens, those who don't work for a government-controlled media outlet or a government agency or entity or corporate entity that's, if you're not tied to that, then, you're not worth it, and you're the enemy to them, according to Napolitano. If you believe in Jesus and just want to have a nice good job and come home to a nice good family. You're the terrorist. And I'm just letting you know, it was the Department of Homeland Security that let him in. That was the background check that he had to clear in order to be provided access. And these people are everywhere. These people are everywhere. Okay, and so that means that the background checks mean nothing. Whoever is approving these things are not doing their job, or maybe they are. You know, let some crazies in, and crazy things will happen. You can count on it. But I'm not supporting this guy. But look what happened in L.A. We had that one cop going rogue. Dorner. What'd they do? They shot up two old ladies as they're delivering newspapers on the wrong kind of truck, wrong color, everything. you know, and just terrorizing everybody for days and days, burning down houses to get at the subject. Is that SOP now? Burning the house down to get at them? That's what it takes. And wasn't even the guy's house. Can you imagine if you're the owner of that house? Is that what you want police doing on a regular basis? Really? On a regular basis, you want them showing up on the scene and setting fire to the house because somebody doesn't want to come out. Imagine if you're a landlord and you're renting to people. And we're saying this is SOP now for law enforcement to behave in such manner. And I think that the law enforcement that showed up on scene created more pandemonium than the guy who did the shooting. And how many millions of dollars went out to agencies that are crying for billions of dollars? Now, this agency, Department of Homeland Security, gets billions of more dollars, and they let him in. Just like the underwear or the shoe bomber. Okay? All these people working with FBI, bombers working with FBI. Now we have Department of Homeland Security clearing Aaron Alexis to get into the naval compound to kill 12, 13 people. Now I think it's up to 13. Okay, so don't buy this stuff that you're going to hear on NBC, ABC, and CBS. Keep tuning into the internet first. Okay, as we, the people, sort out the facts and get to the truth. And you heard it here, man. Department of Homeland Security. Thanks yet again. For protecting government, right? You're supposed to protect government personnel and against the public. Now Congress people are talking about shutting down all government buildings to access to the public in general. Oh, we can't regress any longer. We can, there's time for them to bunker up and we're all the enemy out here. Ridiculous, just absolutely ridiculous. You can have Syria rebels and Al Qaeda to carry a AK-47 or an M16 or AR-15, but I can have one or and have it fully auto. Here in America, we'll buy them and give them to them for free. Here, take these. While they take them here. Okay, guys. But I just wanted you guys to know that, okay? Department of Homeland Security is the one all over that one. Point the finger at them yet again. And no wonder why Napolitano stepped down, Oh, people can only lie so much. Honestly, people can only lie so much, and then they just can't take it anymore and quit. That's what's so great about evil people is they eventually do themselves in, and now you see it right before your eyes. It's government consuming government. Okay, this guy was a veteran, Navy veteran, goes to a Navy place, does whatever it is, whatever motivated him, and did he do it for a good reason? Bad reasons? What's the motive? Is there a good motive? Like the big question, when's the right time to shoot a cop? Do you feel safer when the lights go on behind you when you're driving down the freeway? Really? Not after what I saw happen in LA and Boston and ongoing, So just keep an ear out for that. We'll just watch them pat themselves on the back for a job well done because now there's no more shooters. Remember, they now accounted for all the shooters, and it was only this guy now. We don't want to look for anybody else. be responsible for finding yet another guy. While another Boston, or which they already did. They already went and locked everybody down. Okay, ordered everybody a lockdown. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna live my life, and if there's somebody I need to be concerned with, and I encounter them, oops for you. Anyway, guys, love you, and I hope you guys are taking care.